Hi, this is Michael Wormser. I am the founder of Teche, a film finance modeling software. And today in our series, Build a Film Model with me, we're going to build a $2 million independent drama. And with that, we're going to have a couple of considerations. First, we're going to assume that our director is attached. Second, we're going to assume that we have talent that is attached that's bringing considerable value to this production. Third, we're going to assume that our budget is done. And fourth, based on our budget being complete, we're going to have a tax credit estimate that we can input into this finance plan. So join me as I build this film finance model that we can take to our investor. Let's get started. So here we have the Pro model in Teche, and this is the model that we're going to use. On the left-hand side, you'll see the inputs, and on the right-hand side, as we start putting in the inputs, we'll start building out some of these outputs. And along the way, if you have any questions, we have the Teche Assistant, which is a Teche Film Finance Assistant that you can ask anything about capital tax, waterfalls, tax credits, or any other real film finance questions to help sort of guide along the way. And now let's get started. We'll start with the name of the budget. We'll call it the 2 mil Indie. And our start date will be the start date on lending. And as we discussed, the budget will be $2 million. And we'll have a recoupment term set at 18 months for our collateral. Now, the first thing in our collateral is the MG, the domestic MG. And let's say, based off of our director and our cast, we got offered a $750,000 MG with a 10% distribution fee. And now we want to add in our tax credit. So we can add in a transferable or a rebate. Let's say this is a rebate. And the tax credit estimate for $2 million is $750,000, or let's say $700,000. And here you can add tax credits if you're filming in multiple locations. You can also add pre-sales. Let's say we've sold the UK at $150,000. And we automatically have in a bank discount default at 15 or sales agent commission at 10. And these fields are changeable, so maybe you can say this is 15. You can also add additional pre-sales to add in any sold territories. And so quickly here, you'll see now we have the total eligible collateral based off of the MG and the tax credit and a pre-sale at 1,483,375. And so now let's add in a senior lender who's going to lend against the tax credit and the MG and the pre-sales. So we're going to say it's a 95% advance rate with an 11% interest rate and a 2% facility fee. Now at the top, you can see the senior commitment at 1,409, and this number here, the 260,703, that's the total commitment with interest. And we can look at that. That's 1 month or 2 months or 12 months or 2 months or 12 months. And again, we're going to keep this at 18 months. And this kind of gives you a good indication what you'll need to keep as your finance fees in your budget. You can remove the facility fee, and it kind of gives you a bit better of a picture. So this is 12, almost 13 grand a month. Let's say 12 months. So if you want to finance interest reserve or your finance fees in your budget, $155,000 would cover you against 12 months of interest, not including the facility fee. Including the facility fee, it's going to be $183,000 for 12 months. Let's keep it conservative at 18 months. And so now we have our senior commitment at 1.409, which is less the advance rate. And so you can see in our total budget, the equity required is $590,000 to reach green light. So let's add in a gap. Let's say this is at $300,000 with an interest rate of 12% and a facility fee of 5%, or I'll say 2%. And this term will be for 12 months. So now you'll see that the gap commitment has come in and lowered the equity required to $290,000. We can also go into non-recoupable sources such as crowdfunding, grants, sponsorships like product integration or other. And let's say we've raised $20,000 in crowdfunding and another $30,000 in product placement. So we'll see that non-recoupable sources here, lowering the equity required even further to $240,000. And now we have a film finance, a capital stack that's being structured. We have our total budget, our senior commitment, our gap, our non-recoupable sources, and then the equity required. So this is kind of a good starting point for a finance plan. Starting now for our film 2 mil indie. And what we can do if we have sales assumptions or sales estimates in place, we can add those in here. And we can also add in some of the fees that we're building out as well. And let's say we have received estimates. So let's say on the US, the low end is 500,000. On the mid end, it's 2 million. And on the high end, we have 3.5 million. In the UK, we've already sold that territory. In Germany, maybe we have 100,000, 250,000, and 300,000. Now you can see everyone's already paid back because there's no fees, but let's build in a few fees. So now we have the sales agent commission, and we can split this up from 15 to 7.5. And the second part triggers either after your gap's been fully paid or your mezz or your senior. So now we'll add in a collection account fee, distribution expenses. Let's say that's at 30%. Residual reserve. $20,000, let's say, in producer expenses. And then a conservative haircut. So you'll see now in the mid scenario, the net receipts are at 1.14. And so your senior's been fully paid, your gap has been fully paid, your deferred commission to your sales agent has been fully paid, producer expenses are recouped, and you have a profit pool of $136,180. And that is on a 2.25 recoupment. And then on a high end, we say we're really starting to get some good numbers here. The profit pool will be $819,329. So we'll go ahead and we can save this as a working project. We'll call it version 1, and we can save it. We can also publish a report. So let's say this is 2 mil indie report. We can save this in our desktop. We can save an Excel file. We'll save this one last time. Okay, and now let's close this out and see what this looks like. You can see we have the senior debt, the gap facility, the non-recoupable sources, equity, and it all calculates to the total budget. We also have a collateral summary of our domestic MG, tax credit, pre-sales, the total eligible collateral less the advance rate. Will show the senior loan amount. And through that, we have the structured terms, the principal, interest rate, fee, obligation, waterfall position, And then revenue analysis showing what the 18-month recoupment looks like. Less distribution fees, less residual reserve. The rebate will repay the senior at delivery. And here's what it looks like in our revenue waterfall. There you have it, a film finance model for a $2 million independent drama. Thank you guys again for allowing us to show you this video, and make sure to like and subscribe for more of these videos. We love sharing as much as we can about the film modeling process, and we're certainly looking to do more of these. So if you have any ideas for movies that you'd like to see, let us know in the comments. Till then, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.